Right now at 10, a check on a parked car turns into a police pursuit resulting in a fatal crash in Duquesne. Plus, it's the 4th of July holiday weekend. We're taking you on 2 stops for holiday festivities. Also, a hardware store in Carthage making sure Old Glory is treated with respect. And officials make plans to tear down the remaining portion of the collapsed condominium in Surfside, Florida.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
One man is dead and another in custody following a crash this morning at 7th and Duquesne. Captain Trevor Duncan with the Joplin Police Department tells us they were called just before 8:30 this morning to the 800 block of South Rex for a vehicle blocking a driveway and that the driver of that vehicle may be passed out. Now, officers arrived and made contact with that driver and began a DUI investigation. The driver then fled the scene and began heading eastbound on 7th Street. A Duquesne police officer was in the area and began a pursuit of the vehicle. A short time later, the suspect approached the intersection of 7th and Duquesne and crashed with another car. The suspect was taken to the hospital with minor injuries and is in JPD custody. The driver of the other vehicle was taken to the hospital where he later died from his injuries. One person is dead and another critically injured following a single vehicle crash in Ottawa County this morning. Now, according to the Oklahoma Highway Patrol, 58-year-old Harold Forbes was driving his motorcycle when he hit a deer on Oklahoma Highway 10, a mile and a half west of Miami, around 2 this morning. Forbes was taken by life flight to a Joplin hospital in critical condition. His passenger, 39-year-old Letitia Nolan, died later in the morning from her injuries. The Pittsburgh Police Department's special response team is called out after a report of alleged domestic violence. The incident happened early this morning in the 800 block of South Joplin Street. The victim said her significant other, 24-year-old Sean Woolsey of Pittsburgh, strangled her. Now, authorities got a search warrant and took Woolsey into custody. Woolsey also had an active arrest warrant out in Crawford County. A 17-year-old juvenile was also located inside the home and taken into police protective custody. A beautiful day. Hopefully it holds for the 4th of July. Nick Kelly joining us.
Well, certainly that's what we want, Chris, especially after we had to deal with the past several days of hot and humid weather, and not to mention an onslaught of rain and thunderstorms that just seemed nonstop. But we're quiet this evening from 7th and Rangeline. A nice day today, like you said, temperature-wise. A high of 87 after we started at 65. Both numbers running below normal for this time of the year. Plus, it also helped that we warmed up so much because we kept quiet underneath partly to mostly sunny skies all day long. That's because of high pressure sitting right on top of the St. Louis area. That's certainly keeping any good thunderstorm chances out west, staying out to the west. So we don't have to worry about anything nasty coming our way tonight or tomorrow. But we're sitting in the mid-70s now. Thankfully, feels like the mid to upper 70s with not much of a bump in the humidity out there. But for your 4th of July, we'll just keep things quiet from start to finish. We'll start mild at 67, 78 by 10 o'clock, pushing into the upper 80s. A bit warm, sure, but not so humid. And we will keep quiet for tomorrow night, and we'll check the rest of the week here in a bit, Chris.
All right, Nick, thank you. Seneca held their annual Freedom Celebration event today. Events went on all day, including a 5K race, a parade, a pie auction, and tug-of-war competition. Seneca's Chamber of Commerce says celebrating the 4th like this is an area tradition.
Seneca has always just had a long tradition of celebrating the 4th of July. It just gets bigger and better every year. We literally have people that come from all over the country to come home for the 4th of July in Seneca.
Now, if you haven't made it to Seneca just yet, you have a few minutes because they're going to finish off with a fireworks show here shortly. One of the great things about a holiday weekend is that you don't have to wait to the actual holiday to start celebrating. And that can be seen at Pittsburgh's Lincoln Park today, where there were a ton of cool activities getting folks into the 4th of July spirit. One of the most popular things to do at the park, well, at least as far as the kiddos were concerned, was riding the rides at Kittyland. We spoke to a mom who said she brought her kids to Kittyland this afternoon because she used to have a blast there when she was young.
I used to ride down here when I was a kid and enjoyed it. My whole family was raised here and played it all the time.
Pretty cool to bring your kids to the exact same experience?
Yep.
And they love it here.
They love it. They want nothing more than this, and they like rides.
Now, the park also featured arts and crafts, food vendors, and over at the JC Ballpark, folks could check out the American Legion Baseball All-American Classic. Well, earlier today in Joplin, the Boomtown Car and Bike Show held their first ever event. Now, the car show featured over 70 different cars and different food trucks. Proceeds from the event went toward the Glenna Ledford Memorial Foundation. One of the event coordinators and Glenna's husband says the foundation was created to keep her legacy moving forward.
4th of July last year, I lost my wife. We was together almost 17 years. She was always one to give to the community, to the youth. If a kid couldn't afford to play sports, we would pay for sports.
Organizers say the turnout today showcased a strong sense of community in Joplin. Carthage Hardware Store is ensuring our nation's flag is treated respectfully. Carthage Hardware hosted a flag exchange so anyone could bring in an old flag or one they wanted to retire and would receive a new one. The old flag would be retired with honor. The hardware store's manager says it's important to honor the American flag because of the importance it holds for the nation.
The flag, it's a symbol. It symbols the United States. And one doesn't just throw away the flag. People have died, people have fought, people are still fighting for what this flag stands for.
The local Carthage Boy Scouts and a local veterans organization will be assisting in retiring the older flags with honor. Topping Nation Watch, officials in Surfside, Florida are preparing to demolish what remains of the collapsed condo building as Elsa moves closer to Florida. CBS's Omar Villafranca is near the collapsed condo site tonight.
10 days after the deadly collapse at Champlain Towers, the demolition date is set for Sunday for the badly damaged portions of the condo that are still standing.
At the end of the day, that building is too unsafe to let people go back in.
Recovery efforts have been slowed by safety concerns, and with the storm system taking aim at South Florida, officials said they didn't want the remaining building to fall and cause another disaster. Alan Klisheimer is a structural engineer hired by the city of Surfside.
No one really knows in detail exactly what the condition of the remaining building is. If the storm's going to hit, if the wind hits a certain amount, we're going to tell them to get away.
First responders continue to remove and sift through millions of pounds of concrete on the site that is safe to access.
They're on their hands and knees. They're digging through the rubble. They're using shovels. They're moving it by bucket loads.
Parts of the debris field were off limits to crews for safety reasons, in part because the pile was holding the damaged building up. Once the structure comes down, first responders will be able to search the whole site.
Family members and everyone have said search and rescue, search and rescue. At what point does it become recovery?
No matter what we call this mission, the mission is going to be the same. We are going to bring every single person that's in that pile back to their families.
We are waiting for an official time on when the building will be brought down. It could be as early as Sunday morning. Omar Villafranca, CBS News, Surfside, Florida.
And a week after that condo collapsed in Florida, a Miami condominium has been deemed unsafe. The residents were told to immediately evacuate after the findings of a report released to the public. Janine Stanwood has that story.
I'm just coming and I'm just learning about this.
Coming home and I realized all this commotion, and that's when I realized that I have to get out.
Leaving with garbage bags, suitcases.
Oh, not now. I have to pick up my...
Okay. And whatever they could grab in time.
Nothing, I'm just getting...
You're just finding out now. Residents of Crestview Towers in North Miami Beach told they must evacuate after an engineering report deemed the building structurally and electrically unsafe. You have to evacuate tonight.
We have to evacuate ASAP. Being in that building right now is not safe.
This report, dated January, shows poor surface conditions in this 1972 built building, concrete spalling, and signs of moisture on balcony slabs. But it wasn't until the condo collapse in Surfside that prompted audits of old buildings in this city, we're told, that the report was finally turned over.
The report they submitted us was dated January 11th, but we just received it approximately around 2 o'clock this afternoon. The report just spoke of spalling concrete, and we know that's a buzzword these days, so when we saw that in the report, we knew we had to act immediately.
I needed to make sure that what happened in Surfside doesn't happen here.
Even if you walk around, you see some cracks in the walls and stuff like that. Nobody knew. I didn't know that the building was deemed unsafe since January. And I went July 2nd? It makes no sense. 6 months later.
We take this time now to honor one of our many four-state heroes. Staff Sergeant Gordon Glover served in the Army with the 414th Military Police Company, his hometown, Erie, Kansas. We're proud to recognize Staff Sergeant Gordon Glover, tonight's four-state hero. And remember, learn more about our other heroes or nominate one of your own. Just head over to our website at koamnewsnow.com. Well, coming up, if you're planning to travel this weekend, you may want to pack a snack for the wait. And the latest after a mudslide strikes the Japanese city of Atami.
5 p.m. daily.
If you're among the millions of people on the move this weekend, be prepared to wait. CBS's Lili Luciano was one of them. She's in LA tonight.
People in LA today are crowding flights and freeways, part of a nationwide record-breaking holiday travel wave. Nearly 2.2 million flyers went through airports from coast to coast Friday, with more on the move this weekend.
Seems like everyone just wants to travel and get out of here.
Airports are struggling with a crush of travelers.
We had to wait like 6 hours in this line.
Many are still not fully operational due to staff shortages, with long lines inside and some shops still closed. What were the lines like?
Kind of crowded, especially with going to get food. I tried to get some breakfast this morning. It wasn't happening.
For the almost 48 million travelers expected to brave the packed skies and bumper-to-bumper traffic, this summer trip means more headaches and higher prices.
The gas prices, they're skyrocketing.
The price at the pump is at a 7-year high. Demand for rental cars is up 300%, and hotels and campsites are booked solid. But putting a damper on the holiday spirit is the Delta variant.
We're going to just kind of stay at home due to the virus is still out there. I believe that it's going to spike it up more.
They're not alone. The Delta variant in Arkansas, Utah, and Missouri now makes up more than 50% of cases. And holiday celebrations may spark another risk in the West: wildfires. With excessive deadly heat and drought, officials worry fireworks could ignite new flames. Officials want travelers arriving in Los Angeles to know that all fireworks here are illegal, and if you set one off, you could face up to $1,000 in fines. Lilia Luciano, CBS News, Los Angeles.
A giant mudslide has left at least 2 women dead and 20 missing in the Japanese city of Atami. Between 100 to 300 households were also affected, according to the mayor of Atami City. The mudslide occurred Saturday around 10:30 local time after torrential rain hit parts of the prefecture. Video on the screen shows a special police unit heading from Tokyo to Atami to take part in rescue operations. Search and rescue missions have stopped for the night, and they will resume tomorrow morning. Tropical storm Elsa battered parts of the Dominican Republic and Haiti with heavy rain and high winds Saturday. Elsa had been a Category 1 hurricane Friday and early Saturday, but was then downgraded to a tropical storm, according to the National Hurricane Center. Elsa is expected to move near Jamaica and parts of eastern Cuba on Sunday. As of 10 o'clock tonight, the tropical storm had sustained winds of around 70 miles per hour. A little later, a dog reunited with his owner after a long journey.
But we get to enjoy a quiet and warm 4th. We'll see if it applies for the rest of the week ahead here in a bit.
Missourian, I'm for you.
It is nice of Mother Nature to give us a quiet weekend and make that a holiday weekend. Certainly well deserved after we had to put up with so many days of not just hot and humid weather, but that hot and humid weather leading to numerous rounds of showers and thunderstorms, not to mention heavy downpours off and on earlier this week. Thankfully, we were quiet from start to finish. A time lapse out of Indigo Sky Casino Resort outside of Seneca, Missouri. Not looking bad throughout the course of our Saturday. We'll do it again tomorrow. Warm and dry for our 4th of July while we keep skies partly to mostly sunny. Well, we'll see, however, afternoon temperatures push a bit on the hot side as we go throughout much of next week, and that is despite some rain chances looking to return as well, but not quite on the scale as what we saw this past week. That being said, though, while it is nice that we saw quiet skies all day long and nothing on the radar network at 1025, some of the area rivers are still a little bit high after so much rain that we've seen throughout the course of the week. For example, the area river around Mount City and quite a few areas like the Marmaton, Osage, Little Osage, stretching from northern Vernon County almost to Osceola. These are running above flood stage, and they will expect to crest and subside until we hit Wednesday morning at the latest. So those are going to be where you'll be hanging out for the rest of the holiday weekend. Be sure you keep that in mind while you safely partake in our nation's holiday tomorrow. 7th and range line looking quiet up top, but 75 still warm, but thankfully not as muggy. Even though dew points are sitting in the upper 60s, that's not high enough to make it feel any warmer than it actually is. And that applies for much of the area. Everybody in the mid-70s now, and not much of a change in the feels like since the humidity has decided to ease up a little bit as we go throughout the course of the overnight hours. Quiet here. We staying quiet throughout much of the day, and that's how we're going to stay throughout the overnight while any big thunderstorms continue to die off as off to the west. We'll just keep quiet again tomorrow with high pressure still right on top of the St. Louis area, but we got another cold front to the north and west. That won't start to head our way until we can get this upper level ridge to try and break down a little bit. Until that happens, though, we're going to keep quiet for the next few days and keep things certainly quite warm as we go through not just your 4th of July, but Monday as well. Overnight, though, we'll just keep skies quiet, partly cloudy. And yes, it will be mild, but we will see lows dropping back to about 67 degrees. A light south breeze during the morning at 5 miles per hour, stays light throughout the day at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Doesn't change temperatures though. 83 by noon, we'll push 88 in downtown Joplin for the afternoon. Everybody else, like today, once again, highs going back into the middle to upper 80s. Now let's look at the rest of the week. Monday, for those of you taking that extra day off on Monday, we'll still stay dry, partly to mostly sunny, upper 80s for highs, but that ridge starts to back off a little bit, and with this passing low to the north, that front's going to try and graze us Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and that will mean at least slight chances for thunderstorms returning in the 7-day forecast, but we're dry tomorrow and we're dry Monday. Highs both days in the upper 80s, staying near 90 Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday with those isolated, scattered thunderstorm chances we'll keep an eye on, but I think a stronger front will work in on Friday, Chris, and behind it, dropping to 83 on Saturday.
Still not a bad forecast overall, and important about those rivers up north. If you are out, you want to watch out. So
absolutely. In the meantime, though, everyone else looking just dry and nice for tomorrow.
All right, Nick, thank you so much. Danny joining us now, and the Outlaws are at home once again.
Yes, taking on the Playmakers today. We'll hear from head coach Chris Dawson ahead of tonight's game coming up. Plus, the Royals aim to string together a pair of wins against their division opponents, the Twins. We have it all next.
Nick Kelly is in.
The Outlaws fell to the Renegades 6-2 at home on Friday. A 4-run first inning for Jeff City lifts them over Joplin. The Outlaws managed to cling on to the first place spot in the South Division. Their record stands at 10-9. Tonight they host the Joplin Playmakers for an out-of-league matchup. It's a low-pressure game tonight with the focus on just enjoying the game and resetting for a busy month of July. Here's Coach ahead of tonight's game.
Some guys that we literally told them, hey, like, show up right at game time, take the day off, you know, some guys that we need moving forward that are going to be huge for us. It couldn't come at a better time for us, and, you know, just to have the chance to relax and just play baseball for the fun of it again it's going to be huge for these guys to kind of give them that mental reset to, you know, understand that, you know, for the next 3 weeks, you know, it's time to win ball games and keep this first place lead that we have.
The Royals snapped a long 9-game skid on Friday with the series opening victory against the Twins. The game's ceremonial first pitch, though, has caught the attention of many. This is 106-year-old Mabel Johnson. Johnson is a World War II Coast Guard veteran, serving from 1943 to 1946. She settled down in Olathe, Kansas, and last night threw out the first pitch at the Royals and Twins series opener. That series continues tonight. Royals trailing by 2 here. Hunter Dozier pops it up to center. Nick Gordon just misses it. A base-clearing double for Dozier, and that ties up the game at 2. Same inning, Edward Olivares gives the Royals the lead with a 2-run shot out to left. A 4-run inning for the Royals. Back for more in the 5th. Salvador Perez knocks it deep into the left field corner. Another run comes in, and Kansas City goes on to win it 6-3. That will clinch the series with a chance to sweep on Sunday. St. Louis coming off an exciting extra innings victory in Colorado on Friday night. Here in Game 3 of the series, a pitcher's duel still scoreless in the 7th. Wade LeBlanc doing nice work on the mound for the Cardinals. He pitched 5 2/3 innings, holding the Rockies to 3 hits and, of course, no runs. The Atlanta Hawks face elimination tonight as they host the Bucks for Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Milwaukee leads the series 3-2. Oklahoma Sooners alum and Hawks star Trae Young is back tonight after missing the past 2 games with a bone bruise on his foot. Atlanta can't pull it off. It will be the Bucks that move on to the NBA Finals to take on the Phoenix Suns. 118-107, the final from Atlanta.
It's nice to see, once again, we've talked about it, but to see the Royals coming out ahead, and what an excellent first pitch.
Yeah, absolutely. Such a cool moment for her and for the whole organization, really.
I think it helped them, get to that needed victory.
Yes. Good. Starting off on the right foot for the game.
Exactly. Danny, thank you so much. We're going to be right back after this.
Every life in the 5 p.m. daily.
Well, this dog and his owner are together again after a separation of 7 years and more than 1,000 miles. People reports the Yorkshire Terrier mix named Sergeant Pepper went missing in Florida when he was 6 years old. Animal Control says someone who wasn't his owner claimed him from a found posting. The dog went on to spend 5 years with a Michigan family that didn't know about his microchip. Sergeant Pepper ended up with Eaton County Animal Control, and the department used the chip to contact the original owner. That kind of drives home the need to get your pets chipped whenever possible.
Yeah.
I mean, it brings them right home. Might be a good idea, for wives to get us husbands chipped.
Well,
I get lost on
I can't
occasion.
speak to that.
I get lost from time to time, so it's helpful. It's helpful.
I get a different kind of loss every now and again.
Nick, final check of that forecast.
Yeah, thankfully we're not lost in terms of where we're going weather-wise. Upper 80s again tomorrow for a warm and dry 4th of July. 89 Monday. Then we'll see if a few rain chances or a few storms can sneak back in during the middle of the week.
All right, thank you, Nick. Danny, final check of sports.
The Royals go for the sweep tomorrow. That would be a nice way to cap off the holiday weekend.
I couldn't agree more. Danny, Nick, thank you so much. And don't forget, we're always on at KOAMNewsNow.com and with the KOAM News Now app. And thanks for making us part of your night.
Salon service is provided by the Wild Side.